in passing had mentioned to me, we'd really like to develop something for preschool. I happened to be working on a few other things with Joe Murphy, who's the CEO of Murphy Media, in relationship to opioid prevention and education. And had mentioned to him, hey, what do you think about creating something that could be applicable to the pre-K environment?
Get to the older ones, sometimes they've already got this mindset of, bad habits, because they see what's around them, and you're unfortunately sometimes a product of your environment. And if we get to them early and they start learning good habits, the earlier the better.
Never imagined that within 4 or 5 weeks we would have a talking avatar that could interact with the children in real time, and we named him Rex the RX.
Have you been telling Mrs. Webb in her class all about, this?
Yeah,
What's up with this?
What's that?
Oh, that's pretty cool, huh? Don't you wish you had one? Mm-hmm. I bet Joshua wishes he had one. And what about Temperance? Hey, Temperance, do you have a hat? Blake had him. Blake.
He's not going to high-five you or give you a hug. He will interact with you, but the whole purpose of Rex is that we don't want the kids to keep Rex around.
Oh, guys. Bye.
This is the way, in my judgment, to reach them. They're used to being interactive, and they really don't respond to anything but that. So you've got to find a way to make that impression and make it last.
Hey guys, what do you think of my hat? You like it? Anybody here wear a hat?
I don't like it. No? The kids like Rex because he's also interactive, and he can, communicate in the actual classroom, so you can say the kids' names, and that gets their attention immediately.
The response has just been amazing. The kids really relate to the avatar, so if they do have a prescription medication that they take, which a lot of kids do, we want them to use that medication properly, but we also want to ensure that they're not sharing medications. We know that we have an enormous amount of children living with grandparents, living in foster care. We know that grandparents, that age group, they're more likely to have multiple prescriptions where they probably shouldn't be, where they're much more accessible.
So it's a short program, but it's very effective. And Rex can talk to the kids, answer questions with the kids, and give them vital information.
Technology was used, it was very interactive, and the kids really seemed to enjoy it and learn a lot. I mean, medication's not something that we talk about a lot with kids at all because you don't know where to draw that line, but this made it very kid-friendly and interactive.
Do you know what that means?
He's expired.
He's expired.
Hey, hold up a second there, Susan.
And so the message of don't keep Rex around is a real poignant one and real important, and something that a 4 or 5-year-old can kind of wrap their arms around and understand.
So we were really making a difference. We were reaching more schools and more counties and more kids than we ever had before with the medication safety message that Rex shared. And then in March of 2020, just like the rest of the world, the Rex program really came to a halt. So we were all working together and trying to figure out ways to get the program back online in any way, shape, or form. And then kind of hit the pause button and realized that now the message was even more important because you had all of these children who were at home with parents and grandparents who more than likely were not storing medications properly, and that made medication a lot more accessible and the message so much more important. We went back to the roots of Rex, which is innovation, and we found a way to scale the program by bringing Rex into homes remotely. And what that did was it opened everything up to a very unintended audience of parents and grandparents and caretakers who started to engage with us and their children about the importance of medication safety. We continue to believe that the message of medication safety is important, and that's for any medication. It doesn't have to be an opioid. We know that medications can be very dangerous if not taken by the person that they're prescribed. We also know that Most children who overdose on a medication accidentally ingest that medication because it was not stored properly. We know that most people who become addicted to a medication do so because they obtain that medication either knowingly or unknowingly from a friend or relative. It's something that we really thought would delay or derail the program, and our message about medication safety really turned out to be something positive in terms of being able to reach more people with the message, because in the end it's really important that no one keeps Rex around.
It's like you're tricking me.
You
totally
Good morning,
tricked me.
everyone. Happy Monday from the West Virginia Drug Intervention Institute. I'm Dr. Susan Bissett, president of the Institute, and I have with me Miss Jess.
Yes, education director of the Institute. It's so great to be here on a Monday.
Yes, it is. So we're excited to be talking to you about a couple of things today. One, we wanted to just do a recap from Drug Take Back Day last weekend. And we want to talk a little bit about what we're doing with Fruth.
Yes.
Right? And so that's super important. And we're going to talk about Naloxone November.
Naloxone November.
So we're super excited to be talking with all of you this morning. First and foremost, we just wanted to share with you that Drug Take Back was that last... not last Saturday, because that was Halloween, right?
Yeah, it's the Saturday
but
before.
it was the Saturday before, and we want to send a special shout out to the Charleston Police Department for their work and helping to make that happen here at our Capitol Street location, as well as many locations throughout the city of Charleston. Really important to get unused or expired medications not only off the street but out of our homes.
Absolutely.
So we did have a few folks stop by and talk to them about medication safety. So that was really great. We were very excited. First time we've done that here down on Capitol Street. Of course, the first time we've been in our office during Drug Take Back Day. So we'll be doing that again in April, right? And you can go to your local sheriff's department website to find if they do drug take back. But I also learned that the Fruth Pharmacy right here downtown on Summer Street, corner of Summers and Lee, has a prescription take back box all the time.
Yes.
So that's super cool.
And so does Oakwood.
Yeah, so does Oakwood. So we're really excited about the fact that there's lots of opportunities to get rid of those medications. And speaking of getting rid of medications, we're going to be continuing our partnership with Fruth. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so one of the things, guys, that we have been doing with Fruth for the last, 4 to 6 weeks now, we have been using the medication disposal kits. You can stop in any of the 29 locations across the tri-state area and pick up one absolutely free. Super easy to use. We actually have people come in every now and then. I'll ask for some, so it's great. You can stop in our office and pick one up as well. But at the 29 Fruth locations, you just go back to your pharmacist, ask them for a bag. They'll give you the bag, and you can take this home and use it to dispose of any unwanted medications that you have, prescription or over the counter. It will dispose of 45 pills or tablets, 6 ounces of fluid, or 6 patches. You just tear the top off, put the medication in there, add some water as directed on the back, and seal it, shake it up, and you toss it in the trash safely.
Yeah, and then there's no danger to the water system, so we don't want to flush it down the toilet. We want to throw it in the trash where somebody might be able to get it.
Or an animal.
Yep,
Because
super
animals,
safe.
at least in my house, the animals like to
Get
get
into
into trash. So that's one thing that we like to have on hand. So I have a couple of these at my house as well.
Same, and you can get these at any Fruth location in the tri-state area. And we're extending that through December 31st.
That's so
through the end of the
exciting.
year. Yeah, really, really excited about that. I'm looking at my phone because we were talking about the Charleston Police Department and my parking spot's about to expire, so I don't want to get a ticket. But I also don't want to keep medications that I don't need in my house, so this is a really good way to do that. So we also have something exciting to announce for November, and that's that we are using November to take the opportunity to spread the importance of naloxone. It is a life-saving overdose reversal drug. And so we're going to be pushing out some stuff on social media and some education about the use of naloxone.
Yep.
But we also have naloxone here on hand at the office. And so starting next week on Wednesday afternoons, we're going to be doing walk-in naloxone training here in the office. Yeah, so
That's super exciting.
yeah, it is, especially for downtown businesses that might want to have it on hand.
Yes.
So you can come in and get trained. It'll take, 15, 20 minutes to be trained, and then walk out with your own naloxone kit so that you can have that on hand at your place of business or in your home. And so anyone, in the area on Wednesdays from noon until about 4:30, starting next week on Wednesdays, and we'll push that information out there on our website and our Facebook as well. But naloxone is just super important. It's the only thing that is truly effective in reversing overdose deaths. And so we're really blessed through a partnership with Dr. Norma Mentalto and Dr. Lindsay Acree that we're able to have that accessible through our office right here downtown and do those live naloxone trainings.
Absolutely, because a lot of times people don't think about opioids that they may have in their home and a need of it even within their own homes. So if you have an opioid that you've been taking, maybe for pain management, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have some naloxone on hand just in case. Somebody might accidentally get into it. A lot of times we are seeing overdoses in the home with children that get into a grandparent's medication. And having naloxone on hand could be very helpful in that situation.
Yeah, and our first responders do just a fantastic job of responding to overdoses and potential overdoses. But there's nothing like having it on hand immediately. And then, of course, calling 911 is important as well. But a lot of times we think, well, I have an opioid prescription. I'm responsible. I'm not going to overdose. But you don't know if other people in your home are going to unintentionally take that and then overdose themselves. And so it's a good proactive thing to do, to have it in your home. A lot of times people say to me, well, I don't need naloxone. I don't know anyone in active addiction. And so I usually tell people, do you go to a restaurant? Do you park a car? These are all, places. Yeah, do you go to the gas station? I mean, these are all places where you might likely see somebody unfortunately experiencing an overdose. So it's super important.
Yeah, and there's no chance of recovery if the overdose results in death. Yeah. So that's one of the things we're working for here at the Institute, is to reduce those overdose related deaths.
And we're big advocates for co-prescribing here at the West Virginia Drug Intervention Institute. And so we'd like to see more co-prescription of naloxone. So when the physician is filling out a script for an opioid, they're also filling out a script for naloxone that can be refilled at any pharmacy. And a lot of people don't know they can actually go to their pharmacy and get naloxone without a prescription. So you just need to go up and talk to your pharmacist. And so pharmacists are a great first line of defense against the opioid epidemic.
Absolutely.
So we hope that you'll stop into Fruth,
Yeah.
all 29 locations now through the end of the year. We hope that you'll consider learning a little bit more about naloxone and naloxone training. But before we go, Miss Jess, I want you to talk about what you and the University of Charleston students and some of our staff are doing to get medication safety messaging out into our schools. I know we've started our pre-K program in spite of COVID. We found a way to get to the kids. How'd that happen?
There's a lot going on right
Yes,
now.
there is.
As far as making adjustments to our programming to fit virtual programming, because people are at home more and we know that medications are in the home, I believe that this is more important than ever to get the word out about medication safety and responsibility. So like you said, one of the programs we just launched, and we are accepting schools now for that program, is Don't Keep Rex Around. It's the Rex the RX medication safety program. This program is designed for preschoolers and kindergarten students. So if you're interested in that, you can send me an email. It's really easy. I promise you guys can remember my email. It's just jessica@wvdii.org. Just shoot me a message and tell me it's something that you would like for your classroom, and I'll work out the details for how we can get you involved in that. I know Kanawha County Schools and Putnam County Schools will be signing up again this year for that program. So if you have a child in Kanawha or Putnam County Schools, they will have the program this year. It may not be in 2020, it might be 2021. Because we know the school year is kind of crazy right now and trying to get everything scheduled. So we are working with those school boards to get those scheduled. So we're super excited to be offering Rex the RX again. And we all like our little snarky friend Rex, who pops in every now and then and gives us some messaging. Another program that we are working on right now, not fully ready, but it will be soon, will be the SmartRx, which is a program for elementary students. We'll be offering at the third grade students in Kanawha and Putnam County schools as well. That one also focuses on medication safety and being a good role model. So be a superhero is really the focus of that one. So hopefully we will have that one ready to launch soon as well. And then we have a brand new program. We're actually getting ready to pilot it, Susan.
That's exciting.
I'm so excited about this. But it's a medication safety and responsibility program for college students. So we are going to be working with different age college students. We're going to call this one SmartRx University or SmartRx U. So that one, more information will be coming out on that soon, but it will be a program designed to teach college age adults how to be safe with medication, proper medication use, and things like not sharing your medication and why that's not important.
Yeah, and
or why it is important. Sorry. Ooh.
As a mom of a college age student, I can certainly tell you that that's super important. We've had a lot of conversations before she went to college and after about medication safety, and unfortunately I hear a lot of stories that are less than positive about how college students share medications. And we're not just talking about opioids, we're talking about all medications. In fact, college students tend to abuse stimulants
more than opioids, absolutely.
So we really need to look at educating really everyone across the lifespan about medication safety is our goal. So it's never too early to talk about medication safety, but you do it a little bit a different way with a pre-K student than you do with a college student or an adult. But the messaging is still the same. Don't keep Rex around, right?
Absolutely.
So Rex has really become our medication safety ambassador.
Yes, he has.
Here at the Institute, and we're very, very lucky to have the support of a lot of folks to make that happen, including our media partner, Murphy Media, and also the University of Charleston and their School of Pharmacy students.
I have some of the pharmacy students over here, and I feel like we should at least have them come wave.
I do too, because I feel like they're awful quiet over here.
Yeah.
So why don't y'all come over here?
And you can just give them a wave and say hello.
It's okay if you don't have your white coat. We won't tell anybody. They're supposed to have their white coats on at all times, but we'll make a little exception for today.
Because this is very impromptu. But I would like to recognize our pharmacy students at the University of Charleston, because without them, a lot of this programming wouldn't be delivered.
That's correct. And they're the perfect people to deliver it, right? Because the pharmacist is often the first line of defense in the community. Come on up here.
So we have a couple of our volunteers, if you guys can.
You want to scooch in behind us? Yeah.
So, and just give your name and tell a little bit about yourselves. How about that?
Hi, my name is Joyce. I'm a third-year pharmacy student at the University of Charleston.
I'm Abigail, a third-year pharmacy student also.
And my name is George. I'm a second-year pharmacy student here at the University of Charleston.
Yeah, so we have some great students. Like I said, without them, our programming wouldn't be possible. They work with us with Rex the RX, with our SmartRx for elementary schools, and they'll also be testing out our university program here very soon for us.
Yeah, and we're hoping in the next couple of Mondays, maybe we can have you on as guests and talk about your experiences and what you like about it. Maybe what you don't like about it.
Just kidding.
You love it, don't you? You love it. So we're really excited to have them here, all masked up and ready to go, being super responsible, and just want to give a huge shout out to you.
Gentleman by the name of Bob Calhoun, who is the assistant superintendent for Kanawha County Schools, just in passing had mentioned to me, we'd really like to develop something for preschool. I happened to be working on a few other things with Joe Murphy, who's the CEO of Murphy Media, in relationship to opioid prevention and education. And had mentioned to him, hey, what do you think about creating something that could be applicable to the pre-K environment?
Get to the older ones, sometimes they've already got this mindset of, bad habits, because they see what's around them, and you're unfortunately sometimes a product of your environment, and if we get to them early and they start learning good habits, the earlier the better.
Never imagined that within 4 or 5 weeks we would have a talking avatar that could interact with the children in real time, and we named him Rex the RX.
Have you been telling Mrs. Webb in her class all about, this?
What's that? What's that?
Fun? Oh, it's pretty cool, huh? Don't you wish you had one?